Hello, thank you so much for coming to the Sashiko Live Streaming on Thursday night. This is Atsushi, and this is the time. This is the live streaming where I talk about Sashiko while doing the Sashiko stitching. So if you could bring some of your Sashiko stitching project or any other project, stitch together, do together. It might be about 1 hour or so. I hope that it's going to be the time together to stitch or to spend together for 1 hour to do something together. Because of this, wait, yeah, because of this, just a second, okay? Because of this, I do not want to make this live streaming as the lecture, webinar, tutorials, or other platform to teach something based on somebody's request. A lot of information, a lot of tutorials are already on my channel. So if you have a question, please check the channel's tutorials first. Okay, do I have any? Oh yes, I do have some announcement. One is, well, Japan Tour is fully booked right now. So if you are interested in that, and then if you'd like to be on the waiting list, please check the description here on this live streaming. And I do have actually one more announcement about the workshop. I do have a workshop coming August. It's gonna be in Dumbo, New York, Brooklyn. I will do both the core and essence as well as the application and practice. Usually I do that in the 3 days, but this one is I separate 1 day for the work core and essence, and 1 day for the application practice. So it's going to be nice weekend. If you can come for 2 of those workshops, it's very similar to the 3 days workshop that I offer. Of course, you can come for the just 1 day workshop if it is the core and essence. So I just put the link on the description. So that is that. Yep, and I will just move to the stitching. I brought the topic today to talk about how can I make it sustainable. And this has been my struggles. So I will be a little bit vulnerable today, or more like questioning to myself as well as asking for some advice as well. So let's see how we can do together today. Okay. Where am I? There we go. Yep. So you will see my project, which is completely different. I am not active online this week again because I was enjoying stitching a lot. And the previous one was the one you can see from this photo. This is the it is supposed to be wrapping cloth, but floshki. But I use my wife used that for the kind of she wrapped herself. So this one was the one we were doing last week, I guess. Was it last week? And then now I have something else, which is from 2 weeks ago, I guess. It has been only 2 weeks? Probably so. Which is this. I don't know if you remember that I was doing the Sashiko stitching without any patterns pre-printed. I followed the folding mark of this floshki again, and using the cell phone's figure to make that blocks. Now I am filling the blocks with the variegated Sashiko thread that I have. It looks like that. So let's do that today. I'll show you at the end of the workshop how it is going. Is the lighting? It's okay. And this is kind of the sustainability that I will talk about. It is quite challenging to keep it sustainable, because when I focus on stitching, which I am right now, it's kind of significant that the sales of online, not even the sales, the social media and also the website visitors, numbers of those visitors, numbers for the business decrease significantly. And at this point, I do not have to worry about it too much. I can just focus on the sustainability of stitching. But in the long run, I may have to worry about it too. The main purpose of moving the items from left to right, selling the thread, is that I would like to make sure that I have enough fund, customers, market, supply and demand for the thread manufacturer. It is the worst case scenario to lose the thread manufacturer once again, and I do not want to go through the nightmare. So it is very, very important for us to support the thread manufacturers so that we can keep asking them to produce it with like a reasonable business, I guess. But if I keep stitching, So that's probably one of the biggest difference I find in the art field, in a general sense. It is not common, like let's say the fine art, the painter, or, well, actually, we might be facing the same issues, but yeah, it is the same issue actually. I'm sorry, this is not a difference. Any artist may have their own favorite tools or supplies, so they don't probably say that any painting or any brush is fine. Probably they have the tools that they like. They have the painting that they can use to express themselves. So it is actually the same for any kind of work for that. But Sashiko is the same. Actually, it's not opposite. It's really the same. Some people say that Sashiko thread does not matter, and any thread is fine. It is true. Any thread is fine, but not for me. Any thread might be okay for those who just started Sashiko, or who does not really think through the Sashiko, who does not care about the Sashiko culture, practice or tradition. Yes, any Sashiko thread is fine for them, but for me, no. And for many other Sashiko practitioners I met, they are very, very, very particular about the thread as well. So it is very important for me to keep it sustainable. And the question is how? It's like a dilemma. It's not big enough to make the production bigger, yet it's But yeah, I don't think I can do most of my work without their thread. So it is difficult. Oh, hello, Lily-san. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I didn't see the comments until now. I'm sorry about that. it is kind of sustainability is one thing that we always talk about, right? Like right now, the SDGs and Sashiko may be popular because of the sense of sustainability, like fashion pollutions or mass-produced items and mass consumption as the result, replacing it, which lead to the landfill. A lot of fabric might go to landfill. So yes, Sashiko may be very popular because of that as like a silver bullet. But because of that trend, another side of the sustainability may be completely destroyed, which I explain in the video called Cultural Sustainability and Material Sustainability. It is a very well filmed videos. Not filmed. It's a very well edited videos because I didn't edit it. It's not my work. I did not edit, so it's really good. Please check that on this channel. You can find that. But I still kind of wonder. We're trying to find the better understanding, or I don't think I'm looking for definition, but I am trying to get better grip, better sense of what is the sustainability and what does it make it sustainable, and how can I make Sashiko sustainable then? Unfortunately, Sashiko right now is not sustainable in my understanding because Sashiko has become something else, completely different. Completely different. I used to say that a little bit different. Now it's very, very, very different. Well, so that change, sustainability is gone, right? Technically speaking. Oh, I probably have. I keep saying that, but if you understand Sashiko as the word for the if you understand Sashiko as the word to describe the visible mending, that is incorrect. Visible mending is very, very, very important part of Sashiko, but Sashiko is not word for the visible mending. Especially the current trend of visible mending is not Sashiko. If they are saying that let's celebrate the mending and let's enjoy, appreciate what we have, that's a great concept, and that's very, very. I do that too. I do enjoy the visible mending, but that's not what Sashiko really is. So, but I guess many people apply that word. I don't know why they don't call it visible mending instead of Sashiko then. Why do they have to use the word? Well, because it's catchy. But yeah, one of the not upsetting but agitating or uncomfortable, well, frustrating probably, that's another word to do that, of that misusage of Sashiko is the visible mending. By reading some books or talking to some Japanese what Sashiko is, I think that not many people come to the understanding of what Sashiko is. So visible mending shouldn't be the first choice, but I guess it is translated like that or used for the trend that they wanted to have. So the trend was there first, and then the word was used. So I don't think it's sustainable for that matter. What is sustainability? 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 And it is important to understand what sustainability is. At the same time, my main goal, my main focus is how can I make it sustainable somehow? Well, it's very it's gonna be a very long process to think about. Me stitching, the fact that I keep stitching itself, it's not gonna be enough. That's very unfortunate, but no matter how many pieces I make, I need sharing the story, writing, taking photos, uh, editing, making the videos, editing the videos, or even doing the live streaming is going to be very important part of this sustainability. Otherwise, So today's kind of topic is little. I don't want to sound like whiny or vulnerable, but more like asking, what is the good way to make it somewhat sustainable? Because it is not right now. It may be sustained as the result, but by me looking at it, I don't know. I don't think it is sustainable. It is like 2 lines. There are 2 lines right now. The fact that I worry or try to be try to hassle on Sashiko's matter. That's one way, right? That's more like me 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago. And another side of me just saying like, F it. I will be just enjoying it. And then if I don't want to say it's not my problem if Sashiko is sustainable or not. Like I don't have to carry that burden. Like why am I gonna be the one who carry that? So that is one part of me saying that if I enjoy it, they might find it when I keep making it, and then I may not have to even speak up. I may just they might edit stories, or they might I don't know. Just there's so many voice in my head, and that doesn't sound good. There's no many there's so many voices in my head. That doesn't sound good. There are many perspective, many side, many like mood. Use AI to make Sashiko and sell to the oversupply of foreign tourists in Japan. Well, I don't think, well, maybe. That's not the sustainability that I'm talking about, but what do you mean by make Sashiko with AI? I don't think well, AI can make Sashiko? I don't think so. I know. I know it's a joke. I think it's a joke. I am having a hard time hearing you. Can you adjust the mic? All right. Okay, that's a very good point. Thank you. How about now? Let me check the audio too. I'm really curious about your name. 歩く瞬間 That's kind of, I feel very high sense there. Check. Oh, that's much better. That's good. Okay. I have to replace the microphone too, I guess. Where is? Where was I? Where was I? So yeah, like there are two, and right now, two perspective, or mainly two perspective. That one is saying like, for some reason, I think that I feel like a burden on that, like a responsibility that I have to keep speaking up. I don't know why, but well, I know why, but that's one way of me saying it. Although when I was a child, I wanted to end this culture with my own hand. So it is very, very, very contradicting within myself because technically speaking, it is my dream is coming true when I stick with the goal that I had, let's say 15 years ago. I wanted to make Sashiko gone completely. So, Sashiko has become something else completely, which means that I don't have to worry about it. I can do something else. So technically speaking, that's what I wanted. But at the same time, because of so many memories, so many people, memory and respect for those. Not only the positive request, but some negative I don't know if there's such a thing as negative respect, but so many memories does not allow me to just say F it. When to buy Sashiko in Japan anyway, can you recommend a retail store in Osaka or Kyoto? Unfortunately, no. Nope. You can come to my website and then you can message me. I think I can direct you to some of the website in Japan, especially when you're in Japan, and we can make a shipment to this hotels we stay. Um, Unfortunately, at this moment, because of a lot of closure, business closure during the COVID, I do not have a recommended store, even in Japan. That's the sad part of this sustainability story. Um, I used to have it. Technically speaking, I do have it. Like it's my family business, but it's kind of, I do not recommend. Well, I can. I do recommend. I do like their supplies, but you shouldn't mention my name. And they're in Takayama, so they're not in Osaka or Kyoto. So it's not only happening in English, although the main focus is Sashiko in English because that has been simplified quite much. But I'm not talking about only Sashiko outside of Japan. I am talking about Sashiko in general, that it is not so sustainable even in Japan. And that's probably what we call the choice, right? Um, the nature of, I don't want to say food chain, but similar to the food chain, capitalism chain. Because the artisans or artists, craftsmen, shokunin, they did not find it. They couldn't find somebody who take over their craftsmanship. They couldn't find it profitable. They are getting too old. As the result, they decided to discontinue some of their business. And the COVID was the one last nail to the coffin for many, yeah, I would say many of those. So I believe that, how can I explain that? I believe that when Sashiko is introduced in the more mindful way, each Sashiko requires different Sashiko thread. That's one thing we have to very much clarify. This Sashiko thread is very, very, very good to the Sashiko we practice. If you are thinking about doing the hitomezashi on the dish clothing with a very, very, very small grid, grid, this thread is probably not this thread is not the best choice. Regular hitomezashi, this thread can be a good choice. It depends on the pattern again. Koginzashi, some people use this thread for the kogin or hishizashi as well. So it can overlap, but each Sashiko has their own ideal Sashiko thread. For that, the Sashiko needles too. And probably those stories are not well explained or introduced because there are no interaction between each Sashiko, which is very, very unique, but they did not interact well. So kogin is kogin, hishizashi is hishizashi, other Sashikos are other Sashikos, and we kept it very exclusive in a good way. We didn't compare, we didn't fight, we didn't try to exclude others. We all think that it's Sashiko, and because of that kind of freedom, we developed each characteristic, I would say. So what I teach, what I do can be applied to many Sashiko, and many Sashiko's artisans come to my class. So it can be like a cross platform. At the same time, we really have to understand that they are not a we. We really have to keep explaining that the Sashiko is just a word for very, very many kinds of things. Like, you probably have never seen me doing kogin or hishizashi on this channel, right? I don't know. There's no videos that I am doing kogin or hishizashi. It does not mean that I cannot do it, but I'm not qualified to teach. I would need decades to feel comfortable in teaching others because I do not know it. I have not spent enough time to even talk about it. That's why I don't really talk much. I would never think about writing a book for that. I am wishing to write a book about what I do, like a very, very limited to what I can do. My Sashiko, our Sashiko, but not something else. And that's what many other Japanese artisans I work with say, that they are not comfortable in writing because they're not experienced enough, which is interesting because they are much more interesting than any other Sashiko teachers or Sashiko authors right now in the market. So that is not sustainable here, right? The loud voice gets the only validation. So we really have to be, I have to be mindful too, that there are so much hidden voice, and the voice we can hear today can be modified or BS, because those who can speak up, including myself, I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be teaching, I shouldn't be speaking up like that. in Japan. There's a reason that I do not speak up much in Japanese because I still feel uncomfortable. I am not well experienced to talk about it. I do have experience, but it's not enough. In English, I think I am qualified. Not qualified, but I feel the need. I really feel the need of doing it. よいしょ. Little break. I am so this is something that I'm working on right now. You may not like it, I may not like it. I don't know what it's gonna be like. I have no idea what's gonna be. So this white line used to be the one who was dividing it. Gosh, it's quite difficult to watch. But those white lines were something I was dividing it. If you watch 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago's live streaming, I think I was stitching this white line with using this phone size, somewhat like this. I think I was looking like this. And initially I was stitching on the mark after folding the fabric. So I did not draw anything. This led to the interesting, those like a square, just running stitch, furoshiki. At the same time, I wanted to do something with that. So this is one sample for that. What do you think? It's a lot of stitching, so but I think the camera doesn't do a good job. It's kind of scary over the screen. Ah. I don't know if it looks good on the screen. This is my hand. Wow, this is not good. This variegated color makes it a little bit scary. It does not look like this scary in real eyes. It just camera is making it little, how can I say, uneasy. It makes me feel uneasy. Wow. The real piece, it's not that scary, but wow. Well, it's a it's a trial. I have my yeah, camera looks so too close. I cannot change this camera, so I will share the photo. I may have a photo. I do have a photo, but I probably have to clip it somehow. Well, wait for the photos. Wait for the photos on the Instagram. Okay. This dense stitching is interesting because of the hand. It gives, yes, it gives the hand gives something to the fabric, and it becomes very, very, very snuggly. It is. So it is quite dense. So I would not recommend to everybody or anybody because there can be lots of stitching. But that being said, it is quite it's very nice. I wouldn't do that over the summer though. If you in this place because I don't have AC here. And without AC, this project can be a bit of agony. So I'm just joining, so I'm sorry if you have already said this, but what is the base fabric? Base fabric is we don't have the name for that, but I said it indigo dyed fabric. It's cotton 100%. We ask the Japanese fabric mill to make this specific fabric, and it is indigo dye, and it's woven in Japan with cotton 100% with cotton. So it is not designed to. It can be used for many other purposes, but we find this fabric for the best fabric to enjoy or practice the sashiko we practice. So yeah, that's the fabric. Where you get it, it's from I do carry some of the fabric here, so you can get it from the online store. It is very good fabric. At the same times, the fabric mill is also experiencing a very difficult time. So it's not just the kind of sending the money, it's more like the production capacity too. They cannot make a lot of those too because of the limited numbers of artisans. They are getting old and such. So Japan is now having a lots of inbound tourists, but those inbound tourists are tourists. There's nothing wrong with the tourist. There's nothing wrong with the guest. So, but they don't really go into that deep. They shouldn't be going that deep. As a result, very superficial materials are going to be featured or get more benefit out of it. And those just manufactured will not get the benefit that quickly. So it's when it comes to Sashiko, it's the same things applies. As long as I know that they're the guest can do anything. They can call their stitching Sashiko the way they want. Um, they can do anything. They can use any thread. They can use anything. There's no right and wrong in Sashiko, and I mean that. As long as they think they are the guest. When they think that they are not the guest, they are the host, then the host has to be somewhat trained or at least willing to have some responsibility or commitment. So if you think that you're just visiting Sashiko as the guest and enjoying as much as you can, there's no rules. There's like please use anything. But unfortunately, there's so many people who think that they can host the other guest to make money, although they don't even speak Japanese. That's the problem I'm talking about. I like the blue color in your work, but I recently threw that red or pink would suit you better. You think that red or pink would suit me better? Really? I like blue better though, too. This blue is pretty good. To suit me, right? Me. not you. Suit me, I don't know. I don't know what suit me too. I'm way past that. I used to care what I wear. I used to care how I look. I kind of don't anymore. It's pretty scary though, come to think of it. I kind of stopped caring. And I don't know if it's healthy or not. Is it healthy? I mean, I have no intention to do something outside of this family, but the weave of my fabric, this fabric, is different than ordinary fabric, right? It seems sort of double at the edge. That makes sense. To be honest, I don't know how different, but it's different. I am not a fabric maker, so I don't know exactly how it is made. I don't weave the fabric, but it is. I think it's different. Something is different because I keep stitching that. I mean, so I try to do this same patterns on the denim, which I will probably find time to do it. It's not as fun. It's doable, but it's not fun that much. So when I have more energy to do it, I will do that, but I think I'm enjoying it because of this fabric and thread. Those two are very important for this Furoshiki project, not a project, Furoshiki that I'm doing. I am learning Japanese to learn more about fiber art, not to teach, just to learn. Well, those who say that, like Sarah, then you please consider teaching too. It's really it's really interesting, but those who try to learn, they don't teach. They don't go to teaching by saying like, well, I'm not well enough, I'm not good enough. I need more training, I need more time to practice. Those who don't think like that goes to teaching. Well, I don't speak Japanese, but I can teach Japanese. That does not make sense to me, but that's how they do. And unfortunately, the same thing goes to Sashiko. Many people who can do Sashiko do not wish to teach because they think that there's so many more than that. And which may be true. There might be so many more than that. At the same time, they are very humble and also responsible on what they do. But they don't teach. They don't wish to teach. It goes to the cultural appropriation too. My main message is don't worry about it. But many people say that many people share their concerns or worries that if they culturally appropriating Sashiko by using the word Sashiko to their stitching. And my answer to them is that if you worry about it, you don't have to worry about it. I'll repeat. If you worry about cultural appropriation, if you are worried about appropriating culture, you don't have to worry about it because you're already acknowledging it. If you do not worry about the cultural appropriation, or if you do not care, or if you do not even acknowledge that kind of concept itself, then be careful. But those who do not care for the cultural appropriation do not come to my live streaming because I often say something they don't want to hear. So that's kind of simple logic, simple fact of this world. I mean, I don't want to generalize it, which means if I generalize it, I am saying like all the teachers are not well experienced. That's not true. There are so many teachers with a lot of experience. So I don't want to, misunderstand that. At the same time, there are so many teachers who do not know what they're teaching too. And I think I probably told this. I mean, you probably find me talking about this a lot in the previous live streaming, but there are two kinds of teaching in this world. I mean, not in this world, but in my understanding. Um, teaching, one type of teaching is being a guide, like a school teacher. I don't know about high school, but like middle school or elementary school teachers, they are very great guide for the kids who are searching for what they want to do, who are training to find something they would like to do. So their goal is to guide, navigate those kids to as many opportunities as possible. And in that case, I would like to talking about Sashiko is a very, very teaching Sashiko is a very, very good kind of visit to the cultural component or even stitching component. So if they teach Sashiko as the guide, let's say that the fabric professionals mentioned about Sashiko and referring some of the Sashiko teachers like from Japan, those are not problematic teaching because they are just guiding others to find better information. The second part of the teaching is like a professionals, professors. That requires responsibility and also commitment. You don't want to learn math from those who cannot do the calculus because then what are they learning? They are obligated to be like if they call themselves math teacher, they have to be able to do the college level math, right? For some reason, in the art or even crafting industries, that line's very, very, very vague, and it's a mix of gem and stone. I don't know if that's the English saying too, but it is us. It is the one who learn to distinguish what is the gem and what is the stone. I tried to pull a thread out to make sure my pieces was square and I couldn't pull it out. Yeah, thread wouldn't come loose that easily. That this thread will be part of the fabric over time. Oh, like I often say like 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And it will. It might take that long, but at the same time, it will probably happen way before that. It depends on the condition. And also, stitching itself is kind of that's the practice too. That was about the fabric width. I don't know. I have no problem with putting the fabric. I mean, I have no problem with pulling the needles or thread out of this fabric. But at the same time, I understand that some people experience a little difficult time to do it. And the key is to pull the fabric, but after that, well, yeah, I don't have any problem with that. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm trying to find out the balance of this sustainability. It is tough. It is very tough. It is very tough to keep being the creator or maker as well as the someone who cares about the like a circulation. Some people make the companies for that if their goal is to make money. But my goal is to not make money. Sorry, that doesn't sound good. Money is not my goal for now. Money is just a vehicle. So it is okay. How can I put this one? I don't want to mix the goal and also the means together. I want to make sure that it's clearly. So the goal is to keep having the exact supply that I can be proud of so that you can have the very similar practice that I do. And it wasn't a big issues 30, 40 years ago because everybody was young. Everybody was like the circulation was very healthy. I would say sustainability was very healthy. Now the trend kicked in, and also because of that trend, um, populism kicked in, mass production kicked in, a lot of things which they as like you know, the people 30 years ago did not have to worry about has become the new issues. So I don't know what is the well, I mean, keep sharing the story is only one way that I can think of, but it's really sad. That's the probably feeling that I have. It's really sad that there might be the future that some of the people, including myself, may not be able to use this thread. Because that's the end of one culture. That's the end of the big, for me, it's big. If it's one end of the practice. And people might call it the choice. And that's true. It's a choice, and then we just were not chosen. And I probably accept it when or if that choice was made within Japan by Japanese people. But I think I am trying to fight back, trying to be the stone, trying to be the glitch, because it's happening outside of that culture, and the people who actually practice that cannot join to that choice. The choice has been made outside of their acknowledgement. That's I find very annoying. So yeah, I go back to the same question. My goal is to hope hope to make those people to listen to the stories, which I don't know how, but that's something I have to do. The thread of the fabric itself, not the stitching thread. I usually pull out the one thread and create a line to show thread. I have no idea about the fabric. I can ask, but I don't think they are. Nah, to be honest, I don't want to ask. I rather keep it the way, like, they don't like talking much, so I rather I would rather keep it. So yeah, if the conversation is about the fabric thread, like weaving thread, I have no idea, and yeah, I sometimes feel that I have the responsibility to explain or learn that. At the same time, because I will feel the difference if they change something. Like I stitch every day, right? Like we stitch every day. And stitching is very, very different than actually using it. Stitching needs to talk to the fabric. So if they change something, I will find out almost immediately, and many other Sashiko artisans I am with will find it different. So at the same time, it's their pride. They will not change it. They will not change it without any notification. So it's like a craftsmanship. I trust them. They trust themselves. They are very proud of what they do. So, well, this fabric is one of the biggest sustainability too. I don't have to, I would like to somewhat preserve it. Okay. After this much thread stitching, I will go off. Thank you so much for the questions and comments. I'm not using it to make clothes, so it doesn't matter at all. Yeah, I can ask, and I don't. Yeah, let's be honest. I don't make jacket neither. That's not my work. That's my mother's work. So I can ask my mother how to kind of avoid those, but I'm not the good one to talk about that. So this one is not. This Froshki is not really good with this camera right now because it's too big to show it with this camera. So wait for the photo on Instagram. Well, I can try actually to use the let me try to use the webcam. Don't ask? Okay, then I won't. Yeah, there was a little bit of moment that we may have lost this fabric, and that was another panic. We have been there, we have done that. It was one big panic there. Ah, not this much left. I think I'm stitching a little too much though. That's one way. If I have to provide my family, this is not a life work balance. I'm focusing on life too much right now. So I have to work. Yeah, I have to do a little bit more work. I have not made any post on the business account at all. No website updating, no new items, no nothing, no marketing, nothing. So it's about time to do something. Which is just me saying it. I probably won't do it that much yet. I am still in kind of. It's like addiction for that. I cannot, like, some people might not believe it that how one can be addicted to stitching, but it's kind of the same as addiction. So I am saying that I Probably shouldn't be stitching this much, but at the same time, Sashiko is not any more hobby to me, so it's okay. It's good that I can stitch as a part of the work. And I feel that this way with the spinning yarn, we all have this same one, similar one. Okay, I will share this one with the photos here. I don't know if I'm gonna go this one well, but just I don't wanna. How can I do this? So I will hide myself. I will make this bigger, and then gosh, I cannot do it well. Do you see that? I don't see that. I don't see that. Now I don't know how to do this. Just a second. Yep. Oh, yay. I don't know. This one will be quite eccentric. I don't know if that's the word for that, but it's quite some people like it, some people might like. Previous one is also pretty strong in preference. It's not traditional patterns, and it's not the ketchup for fries. It's more like a mustard for the fries. It's something different. This one is a little too more like spicy sauce or something like that. It's probably not the. Anyway, I really appreciate it for coming to the Thursday night Sashiko live streaming. If you could click the good button, that will help me to have a healthy channels. This means a lot to me right now. Like I now understand how much it means to me. But I do have haters or trolls that always give me the negative feedback, which is very, 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 now it's like tension. Like before, like few years ago, I was quite shocked every time I received those negativities. I still don't like it, but at the same times, I now understand it. There are people who really, really do not want me to say something. So they do acknowledge my existence, but they do not really want me to do things that I'm doing. So it's not about how to communicate, how to spread the stories so that my stories may be required or even like wanted. Not even that. It's even opposite. At some point when I was very naive, I kind of followed very nice, warm, kind comment that they appreciate my stories, and I really appreciate their comments too. It's a very beautiful world. They appreciate my comments, my stories, and I appreciate them listening. That's the ideal world, and I thought that ideal world is everywhere. But I realized that ideal world is very, very, very small, and I was just lucky until very recently that I did not come across the others. And the others can be quite nasty because they don't care about the stories. They don't want to hear. They don't want to even listen. They don't want to acknowledge it. So I do not have a hope. I give up on making them to change their mind because I don't think they can. They are willing to. So my goal, my mission, my whole purpose of doing this is to navigate those who are new to the more options, not to the cultic, believer of one Sashiko. I don't like those things, but I want them to find more options to do that. So I will not force you to do things, and I will not. But I just, by following somebody who thinks that they have authorities, they limit the possibility of enjoying it. And my goal is to somewhat, I don't want to use this word, but let me use it, unbrainwash them so that they can find more option to enjoy, more opportunities. Opportunities might be the better word for that. More opportunities, more chance to enjoy Sashiko more. Sashiko introduced in English is very, very describing one part, and that's great if they find it fun, but it can't be more than that. It's really sad. So, well, but at the same time, because they hate me, I am being acknowledged, right? Acknowledged. I am getting the acknowledgement from them too. But the problem is that they acknowledge me, but they lead other people to ignore, to be ignorant, to shut down the information. That's something I have to avoid. Anyway, haters are sad. Why do they say anything if they don't have anything good to say? Because that's how they feel valued. I don't know from anybody, but that's how they feel valued. I mean, if the main story, main thread is disrespecting or disgrading or, inhumane for those people, I understand. Sometimes we have to stand up and fight. Not the fight, but we have to speak up. We have to, raise our voices. But for Sashiko, I think that there are not that many people who can define Sashiko with a strong voice. I mean, if they just learned Sashiko a few weeks ago, and if they start teaching Sashiko, and if they twist the culture, they don't have a strong voice. They need more time to learn. They need more commitment. So that's the world we live in. Susan is right. Sue is right. That's the world. That's the world we live. So let's see what I can do. It is too late. We are the minorities. There's no way to change them. If they already believe somebody else, if they are already the member of a cult somewhere else, it's impossible to change them. It is unrealistic to think that I can change them. But I can still keep sharing the stories so that those who has the opportunity to choose can have more choice by learning more, not by following one person or one book or one teacher or one category. Okay, sorry for the last few moments. I did not plan to go that far, but thank you so much for watching. Every Thursday night, I come to the YouTube and do Sashiko stitching like today and talk about Sashiko. It tend to be little, I don't want to say negative, but more like it. It's not like a Comedy Central. As much as I would like to be funny, and I try my best to be funny in person, on the internet, as I don't know anybody, I don't know who is watching this. I try to focus on the stories more. So if you are watching this as archive and if you have comments, please let me know. Yeah, like one day if I can make this show, this live streaming funny as the Comedy Central, like that might be my goal, but that's like a completely different dream that I have one day. Okay, so I hope that you have a great night, and I hope to see you next Thursday. Thank you so much for the comment. Bye bye.